is Ambassador Elijah Onyeagba, Nigeria's Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary for the Republic of Nigeria, accredited to the Republic of Burundi. Thank you very much. First, I give glory to God for this very rare privilege. I do not know what I have done specifically or specially to deserve this award. Sometimes what I personally call excellence is just to do the basic things and be consistent about them. We've tried to do what we are meant to do, carry out our responsibilities with a lot of pride, passion, and dignity. And I guess in our little cocoon, some people out there also feel that we are doing it well. I guess that's the reason why. So I thank God for this recognition, and I thank the platform as well, the New National Star. Incidentally, I haven't really had much about them before now, but coming to get to know about New National Star, I think they've done very well, and there can only be one direction, which is upward. So I thank them, and I'll continue to say that to whom much is given, much is expected. I believe that this is a call to duty, not even a recognition of what has been done, because there's still a lot to be done. So this is a call to duty to continue to hold the flag of the country called Nigeria very high wherever we find ourselves. And also to remember that we are cultural people. We are also people of the Southeast as well. So while holding the flag of the country, we'll also try to uphold the culture that we represent as well, which is also the flag of the Southeast. So pretty much grateful to God and grateful to the organizers. Thank you. I have been the Nigeria's ambassador to the Republic of Burundi for about a year and 6 months plus right now. I took over the mission, and within the period under review, we've established the Joint Commission, Nigeria-Burundi Joint Commission. Joint Commission basically are the things you do in bilateral relationships, forming a platform for engagement between the two countries. While we established it, the Minister of State of Foreign Affairs from Nigeria was in Burundi with a lot of people from Foreign Affairs, from Education Ministry, from Ministry of Justice, from Ministry of Trade and Investment, and from the Directorate of Technical Aid Corps to basically engage the people of Burundi. And in that process of, within the period we established the Joint Commission, we signed two very important bilateral agreements. First was on education cooperation, where we feel that Nigeria and Burundi can exchange research, can exchange students, can exchange lecturers. As a follow-up to that, we actually do have, did have the Vice Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Professor Simone, come over and engage the University of Burundi, and at this point in time, they're having exchanges of research and grants and even lecturers. University of Uyo also benefited as a result of that. And the platform is there on education cooperation for a lot of people to take advantage of. We've also signed agreement on political consultation. Political consultation allows both countries to consult one another on issues bordering on politics, economy, and quite other broad areas. And that agreement is there. We tried to sign the Directorate of Technical Aid Corps, Technical Manpower Assistant bilateral agreement. We are still working on it. There are a few gray areas, but I believe that before the next joint bilateral meeting, which is supposed to be June next year or thereabouts in Nigeria, we will try to also sign that agreement. At this point in time, both countries have also agreed to sign an agreement that allows diplomatic and official passport holders of both countries to visit each other without any visa restriction. We've also tried to get Nigerians to visit Burundi with visa on arrival policy. Nigeria is one of the countries that have succeeded in doing this in Burundi. We've also, on the economic side, because as an economist, I also put a lot of emphasis on economic diplomacy. We have tried to establish the Nigeria-Burundi Business Council. This business council, was drawn out of Chamber of Commerces of Nigeria, from various chambers of commerces here in Nigeria, as well as that of Burundi. Men and women of integrity who actually are already doing businesses in both countries. So we have established this business council to use them to become the repository of information of investment information in both countries. To use them as see-through whatever you want to do business-wise as an investment, and whether in Burundi or in Nigeria, this business council was set up to facilitate these investment options. We have also organized what we call the Nigeria-Burundi Business Summit, the first of its kind. This business summit brought together investors from Nigeria, visit Burundi to look at various investment options that there are in Burundi. We decided to look at about 5 key areas. The first was cooperation in agriculture, cooperation in tourism, cooperation in entertainment, cooperation in education, as well as that of infrastructure. So we got these people to come. And as we speak right now, a couple of Nigerian businesses have signed some memorandum of understanding with some Burundi business people in the area of supply of fertilizer, the area of supply of cement, and so on and so forth. We've got a representative from the Dantata, Dangote family attend. We've got Bank of Industry that came to attend the event. We've got people in ICT that also came to attend the event. So it was a very successful event. The event was declared open by the President of the Republic of Burundi, General Evariste Ndayishimiye, and quite a lot of government officials. As a matter of fact, he attended the event with his Prime Minister, all seated, and they sat through the event. It was a 3-day exhibition. Nigerians that came had a good time because they came with a lot of products that were on display. And the same also happened on the Burundian side. So we will continue to do this over and over again. Nigeria has become very, very, very popular in the Republic of Burundi. We also went ahead to organize what we call the Run Buja. Burundi is one of the things we find out about the East African community is that they are very athletic. They participate in sports a lot. So if you come to Burundi, people run morning, afternoon, and night. So to support them, what we tried to do was to organize a marathon race, a road race called Run Buja. We did the first edition last year. It was very successful. We also did the second edition this year. So this is one of the legacies of the Nigerian embassy in Burundi. So these and many more things we'll continue to do. We are presently looking at the bilateral air services agreements. We are also pushing other agreements, that of trade and investment, because both Nigeria and Burundi are signatories to the Africa Free Trade Area that allows movement of goods and services from one African country to the other. So that also provides an opportunity for business people to thrive. So these investment opportunities are there. So these are the things we've done in the last 1.5 years, and we will continue to do more because I believe that to whom much is given, much is also expected. What we've tried to do is to carry the green, white, green flag with passion, with dignity, with decorum, and with respect. Nigeria is a very big country. This is the giant of Africa, over 200 million. Africa is about 8 billion. It means that 1 out of every 5 Africans is in Nigeria. And you don't really know how big Nigeria is except you get out of the country. Nigeria looms large within the continent as the leader in the continent. So we've taken that same approach to diplomacy in Burundi, and indeed the whole of East Africa. Nigeria is a very respected nation, and for us, it's important that we understand that, as that had become the premise for which we have done all the things we did in Burundi. If you go to Burundi today, the dream of every young Burundian is to visit Nigeria. I can tell you that. Even though some of us here think that the best thing to do is to Japa, but I tell you that the dream of every young Burundian is also to visit Nigeria. Nigeria, our population is over 200 million, with about 70 or 75% of them under the age of 30. So we have a lot of young people in the country. And that young people have also provided platforms for successes in entrepreneurship, small and medium scale enterprises, in entertainment, one of our biggest exports to the world is our entertainment industry. Nigeria's Nollywood is third ranked in the world. Nigerian, 80% of those musics are Nigerian, musicians and artists. So what we have done is that we've continued to become ambassadors of Nigeria, become people that hold Nigeria's flag, and it reflects in everything that we do. What is the Nigerian, or how does it reflect? The Nigerian spirit is a never say never spirit. The Nigerian spirit is the can-do spirit. The Nigerian spirit is a spirit that never gives up on anything. So that's what we've tried to do. Where we've encountered difficulties, we've used the Nigerian spirit to overcome those difficulties. So Nigeria is a nation that is well respected all over Africa, and of course with special emphasis to East Africa. And we will continue to do more and more to ensure that because it's not getting to the top that is the problem, it's also sustaining yourself at the top. So Nigeria have got that big name, and has also treated even the rest of Africa with a lot of love, because Nigeria sees itself as a giant and sees itself as a big brother to most of the other smaller countries. So what we've tried to do is, even our foreign policy has Africa as its centerpiece, and that's why when you travel to east, to west, to north, to south, even Central Africa, you find out that Nigeria have got a very huge presence. There's hardly an African country that Nigeria does not have an embassy in there. It basically goes to show the interests of Nigeria. So it's taken for granted that we're the leader in the continent, both markets, both the people, both in innovation, both in research, in entertainment. Nigeria actually leads the continent. So our responsibility is to continue to do what we know how best to do. Well, first of all, even though I'm a diplomat, I'm also a politician at the same time. What we have tried to do first is that this political party I support today, called the ABC, gave me an opportunity to become an ambassador. Usually this is a responsibility that people think go to a lot of older people. But the President Muhammadu Buhari, has thought it wise to also expose young people with this kind of very Herculean responsibility. And what we have done and what we have shown is that young people can actually do the job. So, my shoulders carry the weight of the young people that are yearning to be involved in governance. And what we've tried to do is to show that young people are ready and to take over. So the President gave us that opportunity. And even across various other sectors, you will find a lot of young people that the party has given the opportunity to do what they know how best to do. The truth is that a government will have their priorities. There's no way any government can solve all the problems on earth. Security is a lot of challenge today, because I know when people listen to me, they will say, no, the government have failed in the area of security. But it's one area I always like to discuss. Why do I like to discuss it? I like to discuss security because a very good understanding of security issues in Nigeria and even in the world at large will bring you to the understanding that it's not one person's responsibility. Everyone is involved in the issue of security. What has led to the challenge we're having in Nigeria today, and the way this security has metamorphosed to what it is today. When the government came on board in 2015, it was in the form of Boko Haram taking territories in Nigeria and mounting their flags and saying that you don't come to this area. But what has happened today has moved from there to now banditries and kidnapping. And if you look at it, this is basically as a result of the collapse of the local government system across the country. Everybody's waiting for the military, everybody's waiting for government to call. How many military do we really have? 220 million people. The truth of the matter is that the government, and particularly the state governors, must take responsibility. They are the chief security officers in their state. Yes, they can argue, they can argue about not having a commissioner of police or not having an army, that they can give instruction to. But the truth is that if you organize local government elections, and the local government people are there using the money that comes from FAC, from Federation account, directly to work for the people, what you find is that people will be engaged at the local level. And what do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. I'm from Jikoka local government in Anambra State. Every FAC every percentage of money that comes to local government. Each time I go to study what comes to my local government, there's no month that we have received less than 120 million naira from federation accounts. So imagine, and this is a local government that have 6 towns, imagine that 120 million comes. That means that at least 15 million naira should be spent in my town on a month-on-month basis. You will spend that money in fixing of roads, you spend that money in hospitals, you spend that money on a few projects, and you find out that it's young people that are in the village that can actually come up and do this together. What that means is that on a yearly basis, I should expect through the local government system that in my local government we would have had a minimum of 100 million spent in my local government, at the very minimum. So, but if I go to my town, I don't see anything come. In fact, the local government anywhere in Nigeria is non-existent practically. So the reason why everybody looks towards federal government is, is because that's obviously the only sign or symbol of leadership that we have in the country. So I'm just saying that things have happened in the area of infrastructure. This government have done better infrastructure than any other government in the history of democracy in Nigeria. And the records are there to show. This government have done social investment programs more than any government in the history of democracy in Nigeria. These governments have also had issues. For example, they talk about corruption. Yes, corruption is a major issue, but even for you to expose people that have, allowed a platform where when people are caught with corruption, the information comes out in public. It's also a very good credit must be given to the government, because in some other governments, they might just sweep it under the carpet and not investigate it. So allowing things to flow, allowing information to go out, allowing people that are caught in any of these criminal activities to be tried and prosecuted. I mean, what you can do is basically to take people to court. At the point where matter is in the court, it is no longer the responsibility of the executive, because there are arms of government. The judiciary takes it up from that point, and whatever happens is not the responsibility. What you do basically is that you investigate whoever you found wanting, you prosecute, and then you allow the law to take its just course. So this government have done a lot already, but I understand that people are hungry, even though we also forgot very quickly that there were times when almost, I think 60 or 70% of rice that were consumed in this country were imported. We imported rice from Thailand, we imported rice from China, and at some point there were some that we advertised a lot, they call plastic rice. But these days, what has happened is that the Central Bank of Nigeria has encouraged rice farmers. This government have also done more for agriculture, people in agriculture. So they've encouraged rice farmers. Yes, we argue that the price is high, but even if the price is high, it means that it should actually become an attraction for people in farming to go back to their farms, because it means that if you farm and then you sell at a higher price, you actually have more profits. Yes, I understand the challenge of security, but government is not sleeping. Government is doing everything within its powers to ensure that this issue of banditry, and you can see that lately the noise around security issues is actually dying down in the country. And that also, you will find that some of them in the northeast, northwest particularly, are gradually being decimated. They have no business in a country called Nigeria. I mean, just encouraging people to know the history of where we're coming from, know how these governments have managed with issues. I also understand that people can also argue about the rate of dollar, economy, doing this and all of that. I'm an economist. I understand the reason why dollar is high. Why is dollar high? Dollar is high because the determinant of dollar price is, first of all, the value of foreign currency in your disposition that you're able to attract into the country. We've had challenges where we are not able to earn enough revenue from crude oil. And we haven't also been able to diversify the economy that much that can allow a lot of foreign exchange coming into the country. But government is serious about ensuring that these issues are addressed. And for crying out loud, you can argue that dollar is $7.45, but I'm sure you know that in America you don't buy food for $2. But in Nigeria today, you can buy food for 500 naira, you can buy food for 1,000 naira, you can find food and eat. Go to America to try out and also see if you can eat with $1. Even though we keep talking about it being very high. So there are issues we understand. Government will never solve all the problems at the same time. But once we have the infrastructure will connect farmers to the factories. Infrastructure will take us from point A to point B. There are things we need to do. We must focus on that infrastructure, which is what the Muhammadu Buhari government have done. And I believe that the next coming government will build on that. And by the time they build on that, we find out that we'll be able to achieve the progress that we want as a nation. The man Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been running for president of Nigeria for over 20 years, and people don't understand it. Sometimes when you want something, it's not only when you're on the ballot. When you go to negotiate to say, come, let's work together to produce a president, it's part of running. There is always a long-term approach to the things that you do on the short-term and on the medium-term basis. You know, he's been there. He's been able to draft a roadmap for Lagos State. And I have taken time to read the Renewed Hope document. Part of the issues we have in Nigeria that we talk about structuring. He's talked about ensuring that there is state police. He's talked about trying to find alternative means of funding the budget deficits, which can either be through equity or through the new world order, which is the crypto. What opportunities are there in the blockchain industry, in the blockchain market, and seeing how that can actually help us fund our budget. He talked about trying to create an enabling environment for our doctors that are always flying outside the country, trying to find ways of ensuring that they are measured, their remuneration are performance-based, and also trying to create some kind of mortgage facilities. His Renewed Hope document cuts across security, national security, foreign policy, economy, agriculture, power, all the multi-sectors we have in Nigeria. He actually has, position on all of them. And I believe that what we will do as a nation is to give him all the support that he requires, because I believe that the nation will be very much better in the hands of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president. Thank you very much, Nigerians. We know we are resilient people. We know that we are successful people. We know that whatever happens to Nigeria, Nigeria will still remain one. What I'm saying to Nigerians, particularly the young people, is to keep the hope alive. Nigeria is the best place you can stay in the face of the earth. I've been up and about the entire continent of the world, and I can tell you that Nigeria, there's no place like home. And if people that have can actually tell you the truth, they will let you know that Nigeria is a better place. Yes, we have our challenges, but those challenges must be faced squarely, and we will ensure that we surmount those challenges. There's no nation in the world that does not have their challenges, but Nigeria is very, very special. Why are we special? We are people that never say never. We're people that are resilient. We're people that, when we work hard, that working hard shows, and it shows, the results show. So I'm encouraging all Nigerians to be what you are expected to be. Be the change you want to see. It's not just about government. Government have got their part. The followers have also got their part. Do what you need to do and become a better Nigerian. Thank you very much.